Alright, welcome everybody to Back in Toons Special Monster Halloween Edition. I'm your host. I'm your host, Michael. Mike Kill. And then my co-host, Jacob, you don't really have a monster name, do you?
Jake the Snake, Wolfman. I'm a wolf snake.
We probably should have made up names first. So this episode we're going to be discussing Beetlejuice and the Addams Family.
We could have done a tribute to Wolfman Jack.
Oh my God, you're right. Did you know that Wolfman Jack had a cartoon?
No, what?
Yes.
That's awesome.
It only lasted, I think, at most 13 episodes. You can't find a history of it anywhere except for IMDb. No one seems to know anything about this. Every cartoon in history somehow has a clip available on YouTube except for this. I mean, I've even found like really rare stuff, but it's like in German. There's nothing with Wolfman at all. I found one picture and I shared it on Cartoon Brew. If you are an animation fan, go to Cartoon Brew or Cartoon Research. The guys that run them, they used to work together on Cartoon Brew and they kind of went off in different directions. They are the kings of animation history. They've written books on it. They've done special features for DVDs. These guys are awesome.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's good to know. Yeah, well, I know. I think my history with Wolfman Jack was like being a little kid and watching him in American Graffiti. Then I found out, yeah, he was a huge disc jockey. And, of course, there was a total tribute to him in Fallout 3. When you hear Three Dog out on the Wasteland radio, you can definitely tell he, just that howling, speaking in the style of Wolfman Jack was a tribute to him. It was totally based on that character.
Yeah.
I mean, you've played Fallout 3, right?
Yes. I got about a quarter of the way through and I just gave up. I'm not we talked about this last episode. I'm not a Fallout fan.
Yeah, we did. I understand. I'll still shoot you, though. I can't promise I won't. All right. Okay.
Right, so before we get into Beetlejuice, just let you know that we are now loading our episodes up to YouTube. Asking for money felt kind of sleazy. And besides, the Indiegogo thing kind of failed because Indiegogo decided to change the rules without telling me, and they did not pay me for the fundraiser, so I forced them to give the money back. We're going on YouTube. The episodes are going to start being, with commercials. It'll help raise a little bit of money for the show to keep going. I can't keep posting on Libsyn. It's cost me too much a month. YouTube has unlimited loading. There's only so much I could load for my money on Libsyn. I had to keep paying and keep paying and keep paying, and I put thousands of dollars into it so far. I know it sounds like I'm complaining. I love doing the show, but I have to face reality that it's costing me a fortune and nothing's coming in. So you're going to see episodes moving over exclusively to YouTube for the most part. And the website is changing. I completely rebuilt it with better interface, and you're probably going to see a little bit of Google ads there, Amazon. Just anything to keep the show going, keep the lights on, which is a cliche in podcast. You notice everybody says that. I don't know if you listen to podcasts, Jacob, but everybody always says that. There are some commercials that keep the lights on. I don't know if keeping the lights on is such an issue with people like Kevin Smith because he's a millionaire.
Exactly. I mean, yes, of course. And, I mean, considering someone like him to keep the lights on, I'm like, I am confused whenever he does say that.
Yeah, I mean, I love the guy, but when people who have a lot of clout, like Dana Gould, he's not going to be worried about work. I'm the kind of guy who's like, can I even eat this month? I'm having issues here. So, sorry about that segue there. And one of our sponsors, I have to play a commercial for him real quick. So give me just a sec.
Okay.
Hey, every year you spend tons of money going to haunted houses. You're not getting your money's worth. You're not scared. So you feel like it's a big letdown. Let me tell you this. Come on down to the Haunted Shack. All you do is pay $5. You come in, you sit in a chair. I feed my cousin Larry a bunch of beers. He just chugs them and chugs them and chugs them. He's an out-of-work clown. He'll come in, he'll sit in a chair across from you. Then the lights go out. And that's when the fun begins. Only $5. Now, I'll tell you this. The real profit, of course, is when you come out, that There's going to be sales of underwear. But, you're going to need them because you're going to crap your pants. It's real easy, real simple. So just come on down to the Haunted Shack. All right, thank you for our sponsor for the Haunted Shack. That sounds incredibly disturbing. I'm not sure I want to sit across from a drunken clown.
I mean, gosh, after watching, movies like It or Killer Clowns from Outer Space, who would? It's terrifying me already. God, get me out of here. But it's not, I mean, nothing's as creepy as the Sinful Dwarf.
The what dwarf?
The Sinful Dwarf? I thought
what is that?
I thought I mentioned this to you. No, it's a movie that came out in like the early 70s. It's about this dwarf who lives with his mother. He pretty much takes care of the hotel, and just watch the trailer, Michael. That's all I can tell you right now.
Okay. I thought you went on a weird tangent there, just making stuff up in your own head. I see dwarfs in my sleep.
I'm not kidding. It's so creepy.
All right, everybody. So let's start off with Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is a little bit hard to find, but at least I found the theme music. So here we go.
Right.
Pretend to go. Haha. Fill up time. Awkward silence. Okay, that should totally be our opening theme song.
That totally should have been, yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's obviously
now the premise. Now, I do have to say, I mean, the premise here, of course, Beetlejuice being such a huge underground success, they decided to, give it a little bit touch up with a cartoon, where you can, of course, explore the rest of the world of the dead.
Yeah, you're
which was only
when it comes to the show because there's no budgetary problems.
Oh, of course, and since it was Nickelodeon and cartoons were still playing around, and they managed to introduce such wonderful characters too, rather than just Adam and Barbara, and of course Juno the caseworker and the dumb football jocks.
Yeah, when the movie came out, we actually didn't see it until the very end of its run. It was after I think I heard a bunch of people at school talking about it, and this is back in the day when you would actually see in the newspapers, when there was newspapers really, that you would look at the page in the entertainment section and it would show you all the movies that were out. And it had a little tiny square of Beetlejuice and it said, held over last days. And we literally went the last day it was playing in theaters, like on a Thursday. And I'm so grateful that I got to see this on the big screen. It's such a strange movie. And it opened... I had seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but this opened up a whole new world if anything was possible. It's still relatively low budget, $15 million, but the imagination that went into it made it look like it cost $50. And it kind of made me search out stuff that was a little more off kilter, a little stranger. So it was a very important movie for me.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, coming from the mind of Tim Burton, yeah, I mean, Tim Burton growing up who he is, his very first live action film. Well, not live action film. His first film was like a student film. It was a claymation film called Vincent, basically about a boy who wanted to be like Vincent Price. And just, the unique character design and animation and, of course, background, just the whole artistic sense of it all was very unique and different and dark. But yet so, fun and enjoying and so enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I believe if you get the Nightmare Before Christmas DVD, it comes with Frankenweenie and Vincent, which are both beautiful, wonderful short films. And I think it's really the only place you can get them.
Yeah, pretty much, unless they show it on TV and you DVR it. Yeah, that was another thing I was going to mention. His first real live action film was that short film Frankenweenie. And then, of course, he, collaborated with Paul Rubens, and they ended up creating Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which was, of course, another sleeper hit. His first hit, which was a surprise. Nobody expected it to be that good.
Right. Paul Rubens was discussing when he was given the option by Warner Brothers to make a movie, he was given a giant book. I don't know how things work in Hollywood, but apparently they just hand you books of people who are available. And he was looking through, and he wasn't finding anybody that was interesting. And they stumbled upon Tim Burton. He's like, "Didn't he make that short film I saw at a screening a couple years ago? I really liked it." He met with them, and they hit it off. And the first Pee-wee's Big Adventure obviously is so wonderful because of Tim Burton. The second one just doesn't have the same energy at all.
No, I know. Plus, it didn't have the same Yeah, you're right. It also didn't have like the kooky little Tim Burton-esque feel to it. I mean, it was like way out. I mean, it was. I thought it was still enjoyable to watch, but total different shift here.
Yeah, it's more of a family friendly, whereas Pee Wee's Big Adventure is kind of almost an underground movie with a bigger budget.
Yeah, pretty much, and had a few little risque moments, and had also Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
Oh yeah. You know what? I forgot. There was a show that I suggested that we watch as part of this, and somehow I completely forgot. We were going to talk about Family Dog. Did you get to watch Family Dog yet?
Oh crap! No, I'm
No,
sorry, I
it's okay.
failed.
We'll save it for another time. Tim Burton also did a episode of Amazing Stories with Brad Bird called Family Dog, and it was successful enough to have a spin-off series. I say successful, but it took like 5 years for the cartoon to get going. But it's really entertaining. You should see that. We'll try to watch. Maybe talk about it later down the road. We'll combine it with like another dog show or something like that.
Precisely.
Two
Oh,
stupid dogs.
one more thing I want. Two stupid dogs?
Yeah, maybe we should combine Family Dog and Two Stupid Dogs.
Pretty much, yeah. That sounds like a perfect idea. Anyway, what I want to say though about this cartoon here, I mean, not only did of course, Lydia and the Dietz is coming back, as like main protagonists, but it's kind of weird how it was set up. I mean, wait a minute, Beetlejuice was a bad guy and tried to marry her, but when she brings him back, I guess I'm guessing he's under a certain spell or a charm.
Yeah, that or maybe he just mends his ways. Of course, this cartoon they're going to soften it a bit. A lot of people wonder, what happened to Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis's character? Well, if you remember, their stories are pretty much finished. What they needed to accomplish was accomplished, so they can move on. And they're talking about the Beetlejuice sequel. They've been talking about a Beetlejuice sequel since the first movie came out. I remember hearing news about it, and I was so excited running through the parking lot telling my mom, "Oh, they're going to make a Beetlejuice too!" And of course, it still has yet to happen. They keep teasing it. They keep talking about it. And Gina Davis said she would love to appear in the sequel. There has to be a very good reason for her to show up because her story is done.
Exactly. I know. I mean, they wanted the house back, or they just wanted to live in peace with the Dietzes. And of course, oh gosh, Catherine. Oh god, I keep forgetting who plays the stepmom.
Oh,
Delia.
Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah, Catherine O'Hara. Oh god, you just want to punch her in the face. But yes, also, so it is. I mean, like I said, part 2 is confirmed. They just need a script, and then they're good to go. It is greenlit. Apparently, as soon as they get that script written.
Oh, I thought they had a script by was it Seth Graham Smith or something like that? The guy who did Abraham Lincoln versus Vampires or something like that.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Well, I was close. I was in the vicinity. It's not like I said Abraham Lincoln mustache.
No. No, I mean, to me, that movie was just funny in itself. I'm like, Abraham Lincoln hunting vampires?
No, I never finished it. I got about 20 minutes into it, and I said, yeah, I don't want to watch this.
It's funny. I just found it absurdly funny. Just like, The Exorcist. Or, better yet, Krampus. That's one I find extremely funny.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that, Krampus. So Beetlejuice, they've been trying to get a sequel going for a while, and Kevin Smith mentions many times in his podcast that when he came to Hollywood and he had just finished Mallrats, I believe. No, Chasing Amy. He had just finished Chasing Amy, I think. And he was the Warner Bros. Studio, and they were offering him all these scripts. Do you want to film this? Do you want to adapt this? And they offered him Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, and he was like, no, that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. Plus, the first movie kind of said it all. You don't really need to do a sequel. I myself didn't want to tell a story. And that's when they offered him Superman. And then, of course, there's horrors that came with that.
Oh, gosh, yeah, the unfinished Superman movie with Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage was going to have the full-on long hair. I kid you not. It's so nuts. He was going to have the 90s, mullet look.
So,
oh, God.
What would he sound like playing Superman?
I'm just trying to think of a line. Well, statistically speaking, air travel is still the safest.
You can't even get through it. That's terrible.
Exactly. I mean, Nicolas Cage cannot be Superman. Sorry, Nicolas Cage. You have to go back in your corner now. But you just let me out. Shut up, Nicolas Cage. Get back in that corner now. You turn around. Right, wear that stupid hat.
This is bastard. A Canadian production. which you'll notice a lot during the 90s. A lot of Canadian animation started popping up. Nelvana being the big dog out of that country. Great stuff coming from that company. They struggled for a while trying to find a hit. You know what? I think I have the wrong company. I'm trying to remember who did Rock and Rule. And we still haven't. You haven't seen that yet, have you? Rock and Rule. I was telling you about it before, but it's something you have to see. It's so strange and so unique, but it almost bankrupted their company. Yeah.
I have absolutely no knowledge of that. I'm sorry, Michael.
Oh, it's okay. Nelvana was offered the chance to work on heavy metal, but then they decided.
Nirvana?
No, Nelvana. Nell. They were offered the chance to work on heavy metal, which was a Canadian production. Ivan Reitman did it, and they decided to go in their own direction by doing Rock and Rule, and it was a huge, just massive flop, and it nearly destroyed the company. But they came back by doing some really strong animation, and Beetlejuice being one of the more successful ones.
Yeah. It is. I mean, well, just by looking at the animation, it is fantastic. It's so unique. But it does have a familiar touch to it. Sorry.
Did you just go into a really deep voice, or were you like, burping?
I was about to hiccup. That's all. Oh my god! Like out of nowhere, I just start doing my Ron Burgundy impression.
That or it's what is it, Brokaw? Tom Brokaw. Tom Brokaw always sounds like he's holding back a little bit of vomit. On ABC, Tom Brokaw.
Who the f*** is that?
You don't know who Tom Brokaw is?
No, I don't know who Tom Brokaw is.
Seriously? You're going to want to look that one up. He was a very important reporter. I don't think he's retired yet, but he always talked like this.
Oh, so it sounded a little bit like, who the hell else sounds like that? Like Dan Rather with no teeth?
Dan Rather. I don't know. I don't know how you were doing it. I don't know why you thought they had no teeth. I'm tired of talk like this. It's like when you try to do Fire Marshal Bill, and you pull your guns back really fast, and you pull your teeth out. But then you do the exact opposite. You sound a little Jimmy Stewart.
Oh no, Jimmy Stewart! What am I going to do about this?
That is the worst Jimmy Stewart ever. That was like the cartoon version. Hi everybody, I'm Jimmy Stewart.
Well, yeah, no, that was the intent. Okay, we're watching cartoons here. Aren't we on the subject of cartoons? That's what I'm trying to do. You dick! Sorry, I didn't yell. God, I'm sorry. I know I didn't mean to yell. It's just that Nicolas Cage wet the corner, and well, I just had to lock him in the cage. I had to lock him up in his cage outside in the freezing cold.
Now, while the animation is done by Nelvana, it was actually produced by Geffen Film Company, which they did not really go into animation very much. In fact, their film division was shut down because they joined DreamWorks in '94, and this, oddly enough, I think the show ended in '94. But Warner Brothers distributed it for them. The WB did not exist yet, so they sold the show to ABC. Third season, ABC decides, you know what, we don't need this show anymore, so they sell the last season to Fox. And I always thought the show was really high quality. I think I watched it all the way to the end. Wow, it says it was... Now this doesn't make any sense to me. I never really understand some cartoons. It says that it was on for 4 seasons. It started December 1989, ended December 6, 1991. That sounds like 3 seasons to me. Or maybe 2.5.
Well, then again, these Beetlejuice episodes were 2-parters. They were only like, 12 minutes long? True. Also, I do want to say, I want to go back. My impression, I think, was more like of a crazy Don, like a cartoonish Don Knotts, rather more than a Jimmy Stewart.
I've been looking at you through the bedroom window. Is this Don Knotts? I stole that from Dana Gould. If anybody knows, Dana Gould is a genius, and I stole that bit from him.
Oh, Michael, you slay me.
Hold on. I wonder how many... Like, I honestly wonder, in the comedy world, how many people just steal bits and never admit to it.
Oh, I know, like, I don't know, Carlos Mencia stealing that Bing joke.
There is, he stole
the
Cosby joke.
Yeah. Well, I know for sure that, I think Paul Mooney might have asked Robin Williams for it, but it was this, when he was, doing his Godfather, this Godfather special, I think back in like 2011. he said this one joke that Robin Williams said that he attributed to Walter Cronkite about a man and a woman having sex, and their son watches them, and then the kid goes back and starts giving it hot and heavy to grandma, and then at the end of it,
dude, no.
it's
Where
like
are you going
Robin
with this
Williams
joke?
says.
I don't know. I don't want to know
Robin
about
Williams. No, this is what Robin Williams said. He said, "Not so funny when it's your mother, now is it?"
That.
That's what Paul Mooney did. Paul Mooney used that same joke in that stand-up special.
Yeah. Huh.
I know. Like I said, and he did it in the style of Walter Cronkite. And it was Walter. He said it was a tribute to it, and Robin Williams said it was a tribute to him.
All right. So
it was from his Weapons of Self-Destruction special.
Oh, okay. The voice actor on Beetlejuice, actually, most of these voice actors are Canadian, and I don't really recognize their names or their voices. Stephen I'm going to say it wrong. Ouimet. He did a lot of cartoons, but nothing like really that stands out. Like, oh, obviously I know what that is. He did the Alf TV show or the Alf cartoon, Police Academy, Beetlejuice, Babar. He did Angel on the X-Men. What's that?
Babar.
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 Hey, you know how we were looking for monster cartoons to discuss? I just found one, Monster Force. I wonder what that was.
I think I'm gonna have to look that up. I think it might be the one I mentioned a long time ago about one of the team members turning into a werewolf.
There is. I think it's from Universal Studios. It's the classic monsters: Dracula, Mummy, Werewolf, all of them, and it's written by Marv Wolfman, who did Werewolf by Night and I think Moon Knight. So he's a really great comic book writer.
Oh, well, we'll have to look into it. But yeah, no, I mean, as far as he really does capture the character of Beetlejuice. But as far as this, I know. Speaking of Beetlejuice, I mean, Michael Keaton, he's definitely coming back for Beetlejuice too. That is confirmed.
Well, that's the great thing about the characters that it was covered in makeup, so therefore it's like the Kiss rule. Kiss was smart enough to know that, hey, eventually we're going to age out of this. We keep the
Let's keep wearing the makeup.
Yeah, so in the 90s they put the makeup back on so they still look like young guys. And it was a genius. And then when they die, or they maybe I should say retire, well, the way Peter Criss is going might actually die. The way they, go out, they can just pass the performance on to somebody else. They've already done that with Peter and Ace. So when Paul and Gene leave, they could just hire somebody else and keep the legacy of the band going. They could sit at home and enjoy their retirement and still make tons of cash.
And of course, Paul Stanley, he still does it. He still stays in good shape. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah.
I mean, except for his face. I mean, you can tell his face is aged, but...
How has there not been a Kiss cartoon? Not even like a one season, like a short season, like 6 episodes. Or maybe an animated... Oh, wait, there was an animated movie, wasn't there? With Scooby-Doo?
I think so. Yeah, they did. They actually did. Yeah. They appeared with Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but I kind of thought they would have had a series. When they were red hot. Like 15 years ago, they were red hot. They had a comic book line from Todd McFarlane. They had toys. Merch was everywhere. And you think they would have come up with an animated series? Nope, nothing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that'd be no surprise. I mean, Todd McFarlane, great comic book artist and writer. Personally, I think. I mean, he made Spider-Man.
I would say he's a better artist than he is a writer.
Yeah. And also, as far as there was Kiss Save Santa and Family Guy. There's that animated movie.
Is that real?
No, but if it was, I'd probably watch it. I most definitely would watch it. Oh, silly me. But yeah, no, I honestly, I would watch this like every chance that it was on. I mean, I was such a huge Beetlejuice fan. We even had the action figures of Beetlejuice.
I didn't know.
Like we had Adam that would turn into the monster. We had Beetlejuice with the big, with a big old carousel on his head. Even had the one in the red tuxedo where his head would shrink.
I somehow missed this in the stores.
Yeah, you did. There was a ton of them. My grandparents would get them for us. Of course, our grandparents always spoiled us. But yeah, no, they bring in like a variety of these characters too, like that big old buffalo hairy guy and the little tap dancing spider girl and the French skeleton who works out.
Yeah.
It is. It does bring in like a wide variety of like the possibilities of being in the world of the dead. Instead of just like that whole morbid, very beautifully colorfully schemed, office space. but still, it really got to expand in this cartoon. I'm hoping another one comes back after Beetlejuice 2 happens.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to. We get teased with certain movies all the time, like Goonies 2. You think it's going to happen. They keep talking about it, and you get exhausted. You get tired. But then again, they finally did make a Lost Boys 2.
Oh, yeah, and 3. And they went straight to DVD. But, however, I think it's because, most of the time the studios put these movies on hold. They want to focus on other things that they know will make them money big time, especially like all the big summer movies. And I think like once those are done, then they'll give them a shot. I mean, look what happened with Disney. Of course, Disney's going back and taking all their animated classics and turning them into live action films. Like first there was Maleficent, which is pretty much the same thing as Sleeping Beauty. Then there was Cinderella, which is of course directed by Kenneth Branagh. I'll give that a chance. And Richard Madden, aka Robb Stark from Game of Thrones, plays Prince Charming. So I'll watch it. I'll rent it. And then now there's going to be Jungle Book. And now there's going to be Beauty and the Beast. I'm pretty sure. And then Saturday Night Live did that parody of it, of Bambi, a live-action Bambi with starring The Rock. And plus, then focusing on all those movies, and of course the Marvel franchise and the Star Wars franchise, they cut off Tron 3. Stuff like that'll happen.
Yeah, it gets a little tiresome. I don't know if people know this, but I don't watch the cartoons anymore because I'm too busy editing and grabbing stuff to listen to. Jacob, are we done with the first episode of Beetlejuice?
We're about halfway done.
Really?
Let's see how many more minutes.
Good God,
yeah, because they're 2-part episodes.
I think.
Well, like I said, they're 2-part episodes, and they're like about 12 minutes long each. Almost done. Almost.
You know what? I think we can just wrap it up. I think we're done with Beetlejuice. Is
there
getting there,
big guy. Well, I hope. Well, like I said, I hope something like this does come back after the second movie. But then again, there's really not too many cartoons out these days. I mean, it's all just Degrassi type S to the B.
Oh no, there's still tons of cartoons. They're just all on cable now. Network television doesn't air cartoons in the morning anymore. There's too much on streaming. There's too much on cable for it. It seemed logical for them to do it. It's a shame because there was nothing I adored more when I was a kid than getting up at the crack of dawn and to watch cartoons for 6 hours straight until my brain turned into ooze and then it poured out of my ear and then I was ready for the day.
Exactly. That's what it was like for me too as a kid. However, Nickelodeon does have a complete channel dedicated to 90s cartoons.
Nice.
And the 90s. So there's hope there.
All right, we are going to take a break. We are done with Beetlejuice, and we'll come back with the Addams Family. All right, everybody, it's time for our entertainment news. Jacob, what do you have?
Let's see. You were the one who actually brought this to my attention, which was the Terminator franchise being adjusted. Not being on hold, but adjusted.
Yes, I'm a Nimrod. I shared the news on our page, Retro Rock Entertainment. I did not bother to read it because I have the IQ of a pumpkin. I never
pumpkins
learned
have IQ?
to read.
Is that true?
Yes. I never lie. That was my nose growing. You still there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm living, and I can't believe I heard your bullshit. You son of a bitch. All right. So just think about that. Like, as far as the adjustment goes, what do you think they do? Are they going to try and tie it in with RoboCop, hopefully, or get rid of Arnold?
Oh, they're going to get rid of Arnold because he's too expensive. If you're going to continue the franchise, the last one I believe cost 120 or 130 million dollars. They cannot continue. They cannot continue this way. They have to ditch Arnold. Everybody's sick of Arnold anyway, and they're going to have to cut the budget. They're going to have to shoot in like Canada or even more Bulgaria. They're going to have to come up with something like the original. The original is still the best in my opinion. It only costs $6 million. What, in that money today, that's like 20 million, 25 million? You can make a very fast, efficient Scary. Make it scary again. That's what the franchise needs. It doesn't need. Everybody thinks you need to replicate the second movie. You need to go back and replicate the first movie in its style.
Exactly. Yeah, no, because there was a terrifying sense to it. It's like you got this big hulking giant robot killing thing coming after you, and you can't really do much about it. Not with that kind of weaponry.
Yeah, you only have a couple years left to get this movie going before the rights go back to James Cameron. Do you think James Cameron's going to make anything with it? No, he's going to make Avatar 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, we're not even sure we want Avatar 2. It's been so long. And yet he's now promising us 3. Hey, buddy, do part 2, wait it out, see what happens.
I'm not even sure. I mean, I'm not even sure about what could work in part 2. I was like, what's the deal? I mean, story-wise, setup, plot, wasn't original at all. It really did have great, original visuals. That I will give it.
Everybody says it ripped off Fern Gully. I've never seen Fern Gully.
Oh my God! No! That is so stupid. I'm sorry. I mean, there are maybe 1 or 2 similarities, but that's it. So that's such a fucking dumb comparison.
I've never seen it, so I have no idea. You could literally tell me that, Avatar that ripped off Sophie's Choice. It did? I would be like, oh, sure. I've never seen Sophie's Choice. Okay, sure.
Just bring up fucking Sophie's Choice. Get the fuck out of here. Come on. Don't get me wrong.
Exactly like Gone with the Wind. I'm going to take your word for it. I've never seen it.
Fuck Gone with the Wind.
Actually, I've seen Gone with the Wind. I've seen it, and it's depressing. It's got one of the worst endings ever. I was like, well, I want to go slit my wrist now.
It's quite overrated. I'll tell you that much right now.
All right, so what else do we have in the movie news?
Justice League Dark is a go.
Yeah. I don't know if Guillermo del Toro is still attached. Have you heard anything? He's free now that Pacific Rim 2 has been pushed back.
Yeah, I know. That's true. I mean, I kind of hope he does. Knowing him and what he's done with Hellboy and Pan's Labyrinth, he's a great visual director. He knows which look to go with, what he wants, what would fans want. I mean, look what he did. I mean, Hellboy. Come on. Ron Perlman was perfect as Hellboy. I'm sure Ron Perlman's still pushing for a Hellboy 3. I want to know what happens.
The problem Guillermo del Toro is this decade's John Woo. 10 years ago, John Woo was attaching himself to 10 projects all at once, kept teasing us. Oh, we'll be Spy Hunter. Oh, we'll be Masters of the Universe. Oh, what will it be? Here, stop it. And then none of them happened. It always drives me nuts. I feel like there's some directors out there that go, you know what? I get a lot for development deals, and then I can just take the paycheck. They give me like $500,000. I don't have to do anything. I can walk away. Just walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away.
Come on. And it's going to be eating, at the back of his mind, it's going to be eating him away. And he's like, I should have done that movie. I should have cared. Yeah, no, I would love to see the Dark Justice League, the supernatural side of Justice League. I would love to see Deadman. I want to see Etrigan.
What is it? Deadman, Ragman, Constantine. I
Spectre.
think Blue Devil was part of it. Yeah, Spectre. A lot of really great. There was a series.
Dr. Fate could be part of it. If you think about it.
What was it called? It was around 2009. There was a 12-issue series where it was all those characters. It was absolutely fascinating, and nobody bought it, so it got canceled. But all 12 of those issues were just the best thing I think I've ever read. I can't even remember the title of it right now. It's driving me up the wall.
I can't remember either. I was out of.
Yeah,
wow.
You keep talking while I look. You distract them while I grab some evidence.
Indeed. Yes, I know. I mean, it's kind of like with I'm kind of hoping Marvel does the same thing eventually. I mean, especially with they're really not doing anything. They haven't really done anything with Blade lately. There's so much to do there. There's also so much to do with Ghost Rider. That definitely needs a reboot.
They need
Nicolas Cage.
No
Nicolas Cage. You're not going back.
Yeah, Marvel Knights should be a good thing. What'd you say?
I said no, Nicolas Cage. You're not coming back.
Oh yeah. The series I was talking about was called Shadow Pack, and it's from 2009. And it lasted longer than that. My memory's starting to go. I drink a lot, dude. And it's 25 issues, 2-year run. It had Blue Devil, Ragman, I want to say some Shining Knight, I think. Detective Chimp. It had Detective Chimp. It had a monkey that talked and solved mysteries. Yes,
there was Detective Chimp. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah. And Etrigan, and of course, you already mentioned Deadman. Who else? Dang it!
It was Nightshade, Nightmaster, but other guys would pop in. Shazam was part of it. Not Captain Marvel. Shazam.
I did say Spectre,
Oh, Phantom Stranger.
right?
You know, there's a lot of characters the
Yeah,
DC universe isn't bothering. They keep regurgitating the same heroes. There's so many cool guys they could get out there.
right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm really super jizzed and jazzed for Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see more characters. I mean, we still haven't seen Aquaman. I'm glad they're bringing that in.
There is a character that I'm very fond of that I would love to see in a TV series. He's never going to be in a movie unless he's going to be a supporting role. Is The Question. He was always very
Yeah,
entertaining, and he was always part of Batman's world. So maybe Ben Affleck, since he is a comic book fan, will see something in The Question that he can bring into his series.
exactly. I mean, I'm pretty sure his time with Kevin Smith made him into a comic book fan. That's for damn sure.
I think he was a fan beforehand, but yeah, definitely those two together, it really connected.
Oh, definitely, dude. And plus, a character like the Question, there's so much mystery to him. To me, I thought he was like No Face from Dick Tracy. I'm like, whoa. That's actually who Rorschach was kind of based off of
Right.
a little bit in Watchmen.
Yeah, originally
And
DC had bought those characters from Charlton, and Alan Moore was given the opportunity to reboot them in this world. And at the last minute, they got cold feet. Said, you know what? We're gonna take these into our own DC universe. If you can come up with characters that are similar, so the Blue Beetle came the Owl, Rorschach, or the Question became Rorschach, and on and on.
right, yeah, I mean that's right. Yeah, kind of bringing those comic book characters into the real world in the setup of Watchmen, it would still, I don't know. I mean, considering like where they were at the time, especially like in the like mid '80s or whenever this project was in development
Yeah.
of Watchmen,
You know,
yeah, that
Watchmen.
wouldn't
Watchmen's
work.
being.
So I'm glad they went.
You know, they're talking. HBO's talking to Zack Snyder about making Watchmen a TV show.
A miniseries? Okay, yeah, that's where it would work perfectly if you think about it. You
Yeah,
know,
I
you
don't
can
know if
include
they're.
everything that was in the book.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to go beyond just the original book. I think they're going to go maybe 3 series. And there's Before Watchmen, which was a series that
Yeah,
DC did recently, and then they'll do the original Watchmen, and then they'll probably have a mini series about what happens afterwards. I don't know. There's not a lot of people left, so I'm not sure if they will.
no, I know that. I know there wouldn't be too much. Plus, just don't cast Malin Ackerman. She was her. I'd rather stare at a wooden plank than watch her perform Silk Spectre again.
I actually kind of liked her.
I'm sorry. I mean, she was just pretty. I honestly, she was not meant for that dramatic role. She's in too many romantic comedies, and in this one, she was just, again, very hollow. I mean, a lot of the characters and actors in Watchmen were hollow. I mean, with the exception of Dr. Manhattan, because that's how he's supposed to be.
Right.
But the ones who really spoke out to me were definitely Ozymandias and Comedian. Comedian was definitely, I thought on point.
Yeah, Rorschach's probably my favorite, but I felt for the Owl. I like Patrick Wilson's performance of it, but even in the comics, he was kind of a character
That
I
he
connected
did
to.
give.
But it's also because I'm a huge Blue Beetle fan, and once you kind of make that mental connection, it makes you like the character a little more.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, thinking about it, dude. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Now I do appreciate him. I'm glad I bought this action figure of him. All right. Also, okay, this is like off topic. It's not exactly nerd news, but I think for me, I wanted to bring this up. It's a big thing in California. It's that cheerleading's now a competitive sport.
Yeah, I don't even know why this was up for debate. If anybody has seen a cheerleader, you realize it's physically grueling. I've known people who are cheerleaders and they just destroy their knees, mess up their backs. They're flipping around like crazy. It's very organized too. I have a friend who actually trains kids now in cheerleader camp, and the work that he does is just amazing.
It is, yeah, I know. I mean, I even watched this episode of Penn and Teller's Bullshit, and they pretty much go into a lot of detail of why it should be considered a sport and it should get some, medical coverage. I mean, considering one girl, I think after one incident, she ended up becoming paralyzed. Some even die.
Sometimes the wheels turn slowly in my brain. Are you telling me that the cheerleaders who are professional that are at the football games, I know they get paid garbage. They get paid like $39 a game or something ridiculous. They also don't get any benefits?
I'm not sure about that exact detail, but I just remember knowing from Penn and Teller Bullshit, as far as like the younger competitions, being like in high school and where it all actually starts.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that, yeah.
That's nonsense. Any sport that brings
What?
people in. Why is it that schools are not properly funded when it comes to this? It's a competition. It brings interest to the school. It gets them awards. It gets them money from the state. So why are they not covering their athletes?
I don't know, but I mean, as far as it like not covering cheerleaders in the NFL, I mean, come on, look what the NFL's been doing lately. I mean, not being tax exempt, come on, being tax exempt and calling themselves not profit for that bullshit. Come on,
Yeah.
you rake in billions each year. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You're getting taxed. Yeah. So yeah, no, that is a huge thing. And like I said, just watch that episode of Penn and Teller's bullshit. That pretty much just sums it up as to why it should be.
All right, what do we got next?
Okay, what do we have next? Oh, F. Gary Gray.
Yes.
He's a well-liked, director. I loved what he did with Friday and comedies, and of course, Set It Off, Queen Latifah, and Jada Pinkett Smith. He is directing Fast and Furious 8.
I feel like he's chosen for two reasons. A, he has a deal with Universal Studios because of Compton. What's the movie called again?
Straight Outta Compton, yeah.
I almost said America's Most Compton. That's nonsense.
I should punch you in the face for that.
I know, right?
Just right across the screen. You son of a bitch!
He also has a relationship with Vin Diesel because they did A Man Apart about 15 years ago. A movie that basically bombed, but it's actually a pretty solid watch.
That, of course. It is, definitely. And he also directed Law Abiding Citizen with Jamie Foxx and Gerard Butler. Also, I want to say... But I want to say, like, F. Gary Gray, he definitely would connect with the kind of audience that, Fast and Furious would go for.
Well,
a lot of people love this
Italian job. He can handle a car sequence.
That's right. Yes, exactly. Oh, God, I love those car sequences. And it had Marky Wahlberg. All right.
You sound like when someone tries to talk, but they have too much liquid in their mouth.
Sorry, yes, I know. I was eating soup, okay? Gee. Mark Wahlberg, yes, of course. He was in that. Yeah, he was in The Italian Job. It was a great movie. Anyway, so yeah, I think he's perfect for Fast and Furious 8. I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping he was in the 7th one. I mean, the 7th one had so much.
Yeah, I actually feel the 7th one was a little bit of a letdown, but you have to give it consideration for the fact that they had to go around so many angles to get the movie to work. They probably had to rewrite that thing over and over in order to get it to fit. So I can't blame them. I just felt like a couple sequences just didn't get exciting enough.
And of course, it being Paul Walker's last film.
Yeah. What do you think is the best of the franchise? I still think 5 is the best. 6 is pretty amazing, but 5 is the best written one.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely had better dialogue. Honestly, I hope 8 has better dialogue. I mean, I'm hearing some of the lines in 7, and I'm just like, oh god, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, there's a couple cringeworthy ones, but I hope they bring in Kurt Russell as a major character. I'd love to see them move away from the car racing, away from the independent heist stuff. I would like them to be part of the government unit that Kurt Russell is. Like they go on special missions to help people.
Hell yeah! And honestly, hopefully there comes a scene where Kurt Russell, gets an eye injury and has to wear an eye patch.
oh god, I would give anything for that. Just even if it's for a moment he goes, I'm just messing with you. I'd be like, thank you so much.
And his voice becomes a little hoarse because he's got a cold or something, or again, injury related.
Kurt Russell has a movie coming out here in a couple weeks called Bone Tomahawk, which has been delayed over and over, and it's finally done. It's finally finished. The trailer is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, but I have faith. The trailer's awful, but it has Matthew Fox, Patrick Wilson, and Richard Jenkins, and it's basically about a woman who's kidnapped, and they go hunting after the people who took her, and it turns out they're cannibals. So it's a horror western, and I'm very excited. It's just that trailer looks so bad.
Okay. I can't wait to see him in Hateful Eight by Quentin Tarantino. I'm absolutely going batshit for. Okay. But yeah, no, I'm sure F. Gary Gray will really hold up this, franchise. I hope he'll just make it even more awesome. I want him to top everything.
Right. What do you got in video game news?
Okay, this is the only thing I'm going to mention. The Star Wars Battlefront beta was released on multiple consoles and PC. And I kid you not, I had hands-on experience. I, of course, played it for hours. Most of my day went away because of it.
I know we were supposed to do this show hours ago, and you're like, hold on, I gotta do this.
Yeah, just shut the fuck up, Michael. Just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Let me play. Yeah, no, I kid you not. Oh my god. So far, EA and DICE have done a great job so far, just from with this beta. You're very limited, but with what you do have, like Walker Assault and, of course, the other mode I can't fucking remember because I didn't really give a shit about it. Where you collect pods and you have to get more pods than the other team and defend them.
I think it's funny.
Anyway.
The difference between you and me when it comes to video games is you usually get games pretty quickly, when they come out. And I'm always like, part 5's out yet? Okay. Do you have part 2 available for, I don't know, $5 maybe? And you're like, yeah. So I'm still playing Borderlands 2. Does that tell you anything?
Yeah, you're a little behind. I mean, then there's I think there's only 3 games, and there's a pre-sequel. It's fine.
But in general, though, I'm always a few years behind because I usually buy used games or I buy the digital version during Black Friday. Between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve, I will buy a handful of games, or maybe more. And frankly, right now my Xbox is hidden away because I have no internet here. So that's why the show is a little bit different now because. Frankly, I lose Jacob half the time because the internet on my phone is insanely bad. I need to move out of the sticks. This is backwoods country. We must escape.
Okay. And but be thankful it's not swamp country because I wouldn't want you to be eaten by an alligator.
Right. Yeah.
Anywho, so as I'm going into it, yes.
Yeah. Quickly.
So.
Oh wait, go ahead.
Ask the question.
No, I was just going to drop cartoon news. I'm sorry. I think we're done with video game news. Go ahead.
I do want to say, okay, so Imperial Assault, it's basically 20 versus 20, 40 players total. And I kid you not, just the environments, the mapping, the graphics, oh my God, so fucking beautiful. You feel like you're actually in that segment of the Star Wars movie. You actually feel like you're participating in the Hoth battle. And of course, there's pickups. There's all sorts of different pickups. One have special equipment like mega bombs or rocket launchers. And then there's also the ones for, being a hero. And you either get to play as Darth Vader or Luke, depending on which side you're playing for, Empire or Rebels. If you're Rebels on Hoth in the beta, your chances of winning are very slim. You're kind of fucked. Just giving you a heads up.
Yeah.
You pretty much just have to just see how long you have to last, honestly. But like I said, the graphics, just the gameplay, it's very smooth. If you know Battlefield or any first-person shooter, you pretty much get the hang of it already. And so far, it's just extremely fun. I love looking at it. I'll be on it for hours. I've never had that much fun with a first-person shooter since Destiny and GoldenEye.
All right, so in cartoon news, just real quickly, Bob's Burgers has been renewed already for season 7 and 8, which is strange because season 6 just premiered, and I think it's going to replace The Simpsons. I think that The Simpsons is on its last legs, creatively, of course. But, the whole deal, the problem with firing Harry Shearer, I feel like that this is the point where Fox is like, you know what, it's just easier for us to end this. It's 26 seasons. We've got a lot out of this. Bob's Burgers is much funnier, more creative. This is what people are really talking about right now. Let's make sure that we lock these guys in for at least a couple more years. I believe this is going to replace it. Family Guy, Simpsons are going to go away, and Fox is going to change their Sundays.
Right. Well, as far as it goes for Family Guy, they're not even really trying. Seth MacFarlane even stated himself, they're not trying to stay on the air. He's not really bringing out his creativity like he should. People love the show enough that they'll, laugh and still watch it. But if Simpsons does go, then that's when I think Seth MacFarlane will, get creative again.
Maybe he'll come up with something new. Maybe since Ted 2 didn't do very well, I think it'd be interesting to do a Ted cartoon.
I would love to see that, honestly. But I will say this, as far as it goes, money-wise, it didn't do good?
Not really. It made about half of the first movie.
Well, I mean, I'm still sure it made its budget. Honestly, I don't see any justification as to why critically it could go wrong. I thought it was, they really topped some of the jokes from the previous movie. It was hilarious. I would have seen it again if I had the time and the money.
All right, that is it for me with the cartoon news. And just to let you know, the news is brought to you by our sponsor, and here is a commercial for them. Hey kids, check this slab of awesomeness out. It's new Insectinoids, toy line that will kick the ass of all your toys combined. In the distant future on the planet Bugnut, there's an evil corporation run by the Wingdicons. They rule the skies. Meet their evil leader, Blood Wasp, who will plant his stinger ever so deeply inside you, tell you he loves you, and not call the next day. What a jerk! His evil henchman, Tsetse Fly, won't do anything, actually. We just like saying the word Tsetse. His wicked intern, the Lightning Bug, will shock you with blast rays and a serious lack of common sense. The beautiful Ladybug is an incredible sharpshooter and will likely roll her eyes and quietly judge you. There to protect the innocent are the Crotosaurs that have nothing to do with dinosaurs. We just thought it sounded cool. In charge is the mighty ant who likes to duck any real responsibility and collect a huge paycheck because his daddy got him the job. The centipede is a woman that does the actual work, gets none of the credit, and is really annoyed with the stale joke names. We'll never sell a single one of her figures. Metal Bug, a.k.a. Potato Bug, a.k.a. Pill Bug, a.k.a. Water Bug, is too busy trying to figure out who he really is to help. And finally, Cyber Spider is fucking insane and really gross. Nobody likes him, but he really kicks a lot of ass, honestly. It's impressive. Without him, they would be doomed. So go get all 624 insectoid figures now! Multivariants whisper that. Oh crap. Exclusively available at all One Dan's Booger Farm locations. A Budfuggler toy! Alright, thank you for our sponsor. That was the most insane thing ever. Here's the Addams Family. Alright, that was the Addams Family. Jacob, did you get to watch any of these? They're also another show that's really hard to find.
Yes, I did actually. I've watched like one or two episodes. I couldn't remember what the titles were, but I mean, they were on a Nickelodeon all the time when I was a little kid. I even had the action figures as well. You know, my mom kind of, again, bought those because we wanted them so much. She pretty much would get it. She pretty much, we pretty much got the toys they know we love, of course. But anywho, yeah.
All right, so the Addams Family is there's actually 2 animated series, and they also showed up on the Scooby-Doo, was it like mystery movie, which is never really a movie because it was like just a longer episode. It was nowhere nearly movie length. So I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, they did. They would have specials on Scooby-Doo. He would always have different special guests from all sorts of cartoons, all sorts of celebrities of the day too. Like sometimes they'd have Don Knotts. Sometimes they'd partner up with the Harlem Globetrotters.
That was one of my favorites.
And the Addams Family. Yeah, they did. They had an animated movie with the Addams Family. And I think one of the mysteries was looking for Wednesday.
Yeah, so I think that happened right before the actual... They were on Scooby-Doo. It was popular enough that they got their own show. Same company, Hanna-Barbera. Of course, they had the live-action show for a few years. But it was the cartoon show. I think a lot of people forgot that it existed. Even the 90s version, I think people forgot. The 70s Hanna-Barbera only lasted 16 episodes, and that is honestly really hard to find. So we're talking more about the 90s series, correct?
Yeah, that's the one I grew up watching.
Yeah. So I believe that the Addams Family, the movie, got the green light because of Beetlejuice. Is that weird? Is that wrong? Do you think?
I don't think that would be entirely too wrong. I mean, especially considering people had a real touch for dark humor, especially after Beetlejuice, and then bringing something and then of course, it being directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, it was only just a perfect match. Yeah, taking the Addams Family and bringing all this really weird humor to this dark, morbid setting.
Yeah, I love his direction, the style of that movie. I cannot remember who the production designer is. I think it's the guy who did the Cat in the Hat movie, but
Bo Welch.
What's that?
Bo Welch.
Yeah,
that's who did it. He's worked with Tim Burton on pretty much all of Tim Burton's movies.
Yeah, and Barry Sonnenfeld just has a real unique eye. I mean, yes, it has a bit of a Tim Burton flavor, but it goes in a whole different direction.
I know. You can tell it's definitely a Barry Sonnenfeld film with that humor. Or just even that meeting with Dr. Pinderslaw about Gomez thinking that Fester's a fake.
Yeah.
And then she's like, it all has to go back to the mother. It's like, but I didn't hate my mother. It was an accident. Just little jokes like that. I'm like, fucking A.
The first movie I went and saw in the theaters, and it was a massive sensation. So they greenlit the second movie, but in the meantime, they decided to give them this animated series to try to keep the interest going till the second movie came out. I was always stunned that the second movie bombed. And I think it
What?
is. The second movie was a flop. It was, I think, as good as the first one, if not better.
Me too. I can't believe it was a fucking flop. I mean, I was a kid. I couldn't have known that back then, but
Yeah,
a
holiday
flop?
holiday season 1993. Three movies came out that were sequels very quickly after the original. It was Wayne's World 2, Sister Act 2, and Addams Family Values. And they all three
And
of them
Wayne's
just
World 2.
they what?
And Wayne's World 2 was the best one of them, wasn't it?
Uh hmm. No, I think Addams Family Values is a little bit better than Wayne's World 2, but all three of them, they were huge hits, made well over $100 million, and then the sequels are bringing like 35 million, 45 million. That was it. They all flopped, and it was because of one movie, and that was Mrs. Doubtfire, which I believe came out Thanksgiving of that year, and basically just wiped out all the competition.
Oh, well, that's no surprise there. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can't hate that movie. You can't get mad at that.
No, but I was just like, oh, can't more than one movie survive? Really? Oh.
Precisely. Yeah, I know. I'm like, come on. No, to me, critically and comedically, humorously, Adam's Family Values was definitely just as good, if not better. Just like RoboCop 2.
Right. Well, no, you love RoboCop 2. I'm okay with RoboCop 2. Now, if you had said RoboCop 3, we end this conversation now. In fact, I would never speak
Oh
to you
God,
again.
no! That movie could burn to the ground.
Yeah. The voice
Fuck RoboCop.
acting on this, of course, Hanna-Barbera still owned the rights. They brought John Astin back to do the voice of Gomez Addams.
Gomez.
Sorry, I had a brain fart there. Also joining him was Carol Channing, Jim Cummings, and Edie McClure. Do you know who Edie McClure is?
Refresh my mind.
She was
Was she the mom? Wait,
Go ahead.
it's not the mom from So I Married an Axe Murderer, is it?
No. She was part of the Groundlings. She's one of the original members. She is mostly known, I believe, for Ferris Bueller's Days Off. She plays the secretary to.
Oh my God! How the hell
Rudy,
could I
it's Rudy.
keep forgetting that?
Yeah, so I mean, she would show up on TV shows all the time. She first was really made a name for herself on WKRP, and then she showed up on Small Wonder. I don't know if you've ever heard of this show. It's the worst show in history to be successful. I believe it lasted 4 years. It was about a robot girl, and the only thing I remember from the show is Edie McClure would come over and just go, no, 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 no. And that was sticking in your brain. And then she was on the Hogan Family. She's just one of these faces that popped up all the time. Have you ever seen Elvira, Mistress of the Dark?
Yes, I do remember Edie McClure. She was one of those
Yes.
snotty, freaking conservative neighbor bitches, and she was also. I know she was also in the original Carrie with Sissy Spacek. She was one of the she was one of fucking Nancy Travis, the one who plays Ann Lewis in RoboCop.
Do you mean Nancy Allen?
Nancy Allen. There was a Nancy involved. Anyway, so I know she was like one of her friends, and she was a total bitch, and she wore glasses, and I'm glad she died.
I didn't even realize she was in that movie. Also joining the cast is Rob Paulson, who is infamous for Pinky the Brain, Animaniacs. Real big name during the 90s. I don't really hear that much from him now, but he's got a great podcast where he basically focuses on voice actors. And you should check it out.
His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson.
He probably has not lived that down at all. And finally, Rip Taylor was a reoccurring on the show. Who doesn't love Rip Taylor?
That's Fester.
Yeah.
Who couldn't love Rip Taylor? He's a god. He is a god in my country.
Oh, yeah. This was on for 2 seasons, 21 episodes. It lasted a little bit longer than the 70s version, but sadly, it's still... The Addams Family is always kind of a cult thing. The original series only lasted 2 seasons. There is also, the animated series lasted less than a season, and the movies died out with the second one. There is a TV movie with Tim Curry and Daryl Hannah. It is garbage. Please pretend it didn't exist.
Yeah, fucking Daryl Hannah.
Are you a Monsters fan or an Addams Family man?
I'm definitely more of an Addams Family man, but I do love the Munsters. I do not wish them any hate. And I will say that much right now. It's like, why haven't they collaborated? Why can't we get that kind of crossover movie?
Why did they never meet? Why was there never a Monsters cartoon? If anything was a visual for cartoons, obviously Monsters. I just don't understand how that's not possible.
I don't know. I mean, Monsters is on Netflix, though, so I would recommend anyone who has not watched it or who has kids and they have not heard of it. It's Halloween. It's almost Halloween. Get your kid, just binge right now. Just stop what you're doing. Stop listening. Well, no. After listening to this, Go and take your kids and just binge on Monsters right now.
All right, so we are running out of time. The Addams Family, there really isn't that much to say. It was a really its animation style. I think I felt like it copied Beetlejuice a little bit. Am I wrong?
It was. It was. It did seem a little. It did have those, rotund shapes that you'd see on every character almost.
Yeah.
Everybody, yeah, pretty much almost every character looked a little overweight.
So,
but I will say,
go ahead. Sorry.
But I will say this: it was definitely something I always got up in the morning for. I loved hearing the theme song. I mean, I heard it in like almost every other TV show or cartoon. There was always a reference to it, like an episode of the Wonder Years. Paul would mimic it and annoy Fred Savage.
Can I tell you this? When I was in 6th grade, I was in math class, and everybody was doing that da-da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun, which I don't know why. I think we only knew it from baseball games. We didn't know it from the show because it wasn't on TV at the time. Monsters was. Addams Family, not so much. Okay, so I'm loading up the stapler, refilling it, and everybody's like da-da-da-dun, and I find myself, because I'm an absent-minded fool, I go to slam the stapler shut, and I go da-da-da-dun, pa. It didn't shut. The staples were in my hand. I didn't notice it at first. I shut the stapler, I put it on the desk. Someone looks at my hand and goes, Michael, you have staples in your hand. I go, what? And I look down and I see it, and I start crying like crazy. And I don't want them to take it out. And they just hold still, calm down. I'm like, I don't want to eat. And they pull them out or whatever. It's just, I always remember that when I think of the Addams Family song.
That pain. Oh gosh, it just burned. All it brings is pain. Honestly, the second one in particular, I think what made it really funny was Joan Cusack.
My favorite. I think it's the camp. The camp absolutely kills
Camp
me.
Chippewa.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Peter
that's
McNichol.
insane.
That was it. That and oh my god, I kid you not, just the whole Malibu Barbie skit. I thought that was a killer joke. Yeah. You know what they got me? Malibu Barbie.
The smiles on their face after watching the nice little TV shows. Hey. Okay, so I believe we're at the end of our episode, and check us out on Facebook. We are under Back in Toons. It's a special page. We're almost to 100 people. That sounds like nothing to most, but it means a lot to me because we just started the page a little bit ago, so it's really growing fast. People are giving us great feedback. There's been suggestions given to us for episodes. I apologize. It's just been really hard to do some episodes lately, so I'm going to get to those. Don't worry, I didn't leave you behind. Jacob, is there anything you want to say?
Yes, just one more thing. I honestly, actually two things. One, oh god, who played Morticia? Oh, come on.
In the movie?
How could I forget?
Angelica Houston?
Yes, Angelica Houston. That's it, yeah. Angelica Houston never looked better outside of that Morticia costume.
Yeah,
oh, God.
Yeah.
I think everybody these days who knows of Addams Family, I think that's a relationship goal right there. Everyone wants a love story, a relationship like Gomez and Morticia.
Yeah,
I mean that they're perfect.
Yeah.
You know, they call each other out on their crap. They both, would do anything for each other. They would do anything for love. They would even do that. Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Well,
that's all. That's it.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
This is Michael, and I just want to say, be excellent to each other. Thank you for the support. Share as much as possible. We've got to get our name out there, and I appreciate those who have.
All right. Thank you, everybody. You all have a good night. Namaste and good luck.
Hello?
Hey, Vlad, buddy, it's Wolfie. How's it going?
Oh, fine. Just hanging around the house, catching up on some TV.
Oh, really? That's awesome. Well, the whole gang is down here at Hyde's Bar and Kill. We're having a good time and just wanted to know if you wanted to join us for a couple cool ones. Play some blood pool and shoot the shit.
Cool ones?
Oh yeah, we got that asshole Dwayne from the convenience store on ice. Gotta throw him on the grill. Guy was a walking buffet. Come on down.
Yeah, that sounds good, but I got to turn you down. The brides have been on my case for never being home and spending quality time with them. Always on my back about being so focused on building the army of the undead. Blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes.
Actually, no. I accidentally killed another one in a fit of rage again, so back to being a single guy on the lookout for another victim. I mean, lady.
Seriously, you got to curb that. I can't keep helping you out till you get rid of another body over and over with you.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's easy for you to say, mister. I turn all my victims into my employees or wives. At least I don't have to armada of vampiresses, however the fuck you pronounce it, nagging me and keeping me from having fun.
I have fun. Lots of it. Blah.
Oh, yeah, sure. Really. What's the last fun thing that you did? Tell me. I want fucking details, pal.
Well, last night I went out to Slaymart and I bought myself a new cape.
That's all?
Yes. And then I had a nice snack and came home to watch Housewives of Transylvania.
Wow, you're such a party monster. Oh my god, you top the fucking charts, kid. Or at least tell me, at least ate the cashier at the store.
Oh my no, I simply can't afford another person on the payroll. They're bleeding me dry.
Oh god, oh that's a good one. You never lost your humor. But seriously, you gotta come out. Everyone's here. I mean, even the creature brought his ass out from the lagoon to hang. I mean, that man has a million excuses not to go out, and he made it. So why can't you? Come on, kid.
Seriously, if it wasn't for my ladies, I would do tons of work. I still have tons of work to do. I'm always busy.
Really? What has you so busy these days?
Well, I have decided after much deliberation that I'm going to run for president of the Monster Union.
Ah, no shit. You better not let Frankenstein's monster know that.
Why is that?
Well, because he's also running, and he will destroy you when you announce it.
That man can barely put together a full sentence, so I have no worries. I mean, I am the Emperor of the Night and all. I have the experience and the brains. He is on his own. His brain is just a rotten mess alone from a lunatic. I got this.
Oh, shit. Damn it. All right. Now, that's the old Dracula I know. Well, good luck, buddy, and I wish you could come out. Well, I gotta go as Mr. Hyde is unraveling the mummy. Again? Oh, my God. It's fucking hysterical. But at the same time, really fucked up.
Yes. You have a fun night.
All right.
All right, ladies, let's start the binge watching. Who's got the finger food? Ha! Slay me. Okay, everybody. That was the worst Dracula impression I've ever done, and I lost it twice. I lost the accent twice. I started going into other territories, and I literally said sigh. I read a stage direction that said sigh. I am a fool. I wrote
well,
this.
Actually, no.
It's not
it's
like
for the.
It's not like
it has comedic purposes. Hey, it has comedic purposes. It has a Scott Pilgrim versus the World kind of touch.
Yes. All right, everybody. This time we're actually done. Have a good night.
All right.